Hello, I'm John Weiler with the Sovereign Passage Assembly, and this is our daily brief for December 5th, 2018. And we're going to continue on with our study of Parashah Vayishlach, which means "and he sent." And we are looking at ourselves through the account of Yaakov, and his life and the events now that are taking place as he is coming back into the land of Canaan. So we're going to continue with our reading today with chapter 34, Bere'shiyth chapter 34, Genesis chapter 34. And we're going to focus on this particular account. So let's begin by reading. Okay, so chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Yaakov, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivi, prince of the country, saw her, he took her, and lay with her, and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, and he loved the damsel, and spoke kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to be my woman. And Yaakov heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Yaakov held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Yaakov to commune with him. And the sons of Yaakov came out of the field, and when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly and Yasharel in lying with Yaakov's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. I pray you, give her him to be his woman, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to be my woman. And the sons of Yaakov answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you. If ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised, then we will give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Yaakov's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein for the land. Behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for women, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Yaakov came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, their oxen, and their asses, that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their women they took captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Yaakov said to Shimon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Cananim and the Perizim, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? And that's the end. Okay, that's a big deal. All of this is a very, very big deal. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, goes out amongst the people. Okay, so I went out to see the daughters of the land. So she takes it upon herself to go out and be around the people of the world. Okay, at this point. Whereas before, what we studied in 32 and 33, where it's such a large, important thing for us to stay away from the world, because we will become as the world. If we go out into that environment, we will become part of that environment. And that's what happens here. And Shechem, who is the son of Hamor, who's in charge of the area, okay, says prince of the country, saw her and took her and lay with her and defiled her. And it says that his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, and he loved her. Shechem loved her. And he spoke kindly to her, and then he wanted to marry her, like what we would, our concept of today of marriage. He wanted to be with her. So they became one. But the difference here is this was an individual that Shechem, who was walking contrary to Yah, whereas Dinah was Yasharel, which is the upright of El. Okay, so the mixing there, which ought not to have been done. Okay, so that's where in verse 7 it says the sons of Yaakov came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved. They're very sad and very angry because he had wrought folly in Yasharel in lying with Yaakov's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. Okay, so I got really mad at Shechem for lying with Yaakov's daughter and mixing the upright with those who walk contrary to Yah. So Shechem wants to take Dinah as his wife, and his father Hamor sees the opportunity there, saying, well, we can have these people come in and we can trade with them, and then we'll take their daughters, our daughters, and we'll just become one people. So we'll add to our wealth, basically. And he says, goes to Yaakov, goes to the house of Yaakov, and he says, the soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. And he says, I pray you, give her him to be his woman, and make you marriages. Marry with us, and give us your daughters, and take our daughters. You can dwell with us, and the land will be before you. You can trade, get your possessions here. And then Shechem says, please let me find grace. Let me find grace in your eyes. And what you shall say unto me, I will give for your daughter. And the sons of Yaakov speak deceitfully to them. They have no desire to be one with these people. Okay? They have no desire to be one with the world. What they want to do is punish them for what he did. Okay? Now, Shechem loved her. Okay, that's what happened. Dinah went out to them, all right, and behaved as them, is what it seems to be anyways. So she went out to see the daughters of the land. Now, it also could be a forceful thing. Okay, it could have been against Dinah's will, but we see at the end of this account, she was in his house. Okay, so she was with him. He loved her, spoke nicely to her, is what it says, spoke kindly unto the damsel. So, we have now the sons of Yaakov answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister, and said, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised. So they tell him you need to get circumcised, and then we can be one people, okay? Then we will become one people. But if you don't do that, then we're going to take our daughter and we're going to leave. And Hamor liked that. Okay, so that was good news to him because, yeah, we can become one people. That's the magic word for him. That way it's all trade oriented. So to increase riches and security of the land. And Shechem loved her, so that was good news to him. And it says the young man deferred not to do the thing because he had delight in Yaakov's daughter. So he loved her enough to get circumcised. I mean, to really get the concept here of coming from our perspective, because we were the unbeliever. We followed the idols of our land and the traditions of our land, worshiping false idols, which would be the same thing right here. Okay, so we come out where we're just concerned either with looks and our concept of love, or money and security. Okay, so either Hamor and Shechem's perspective, and you got this group right here that what they do is they cut the skin away from the tip of their penis. Now, looking at that, you're like, that's really weird. I'm not going to do that. You know, as being an outsider looking at that, and that's what these people are. But that's what the sons of Yaakov say, well, we're not going to, you can have her if you get circumcised. Okay, that if you're circumcised. If you don't, then we're going to take our daughter and leave. And they say, okay, yeah, we'll do that. I love your daughter, so I'm going to do that. Okay? And it says, the young man deferred not to do the thing, not to do that, because he had delight in Yaakov's daughter. And he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Okay, so we have to got to really pay close attention here and read with discernment what is happening. Okay, the situation that's occurring. And then Hamor and Shechem, they go back to their land, their area, and they talk to the people there, and they say, these men, Yaakov's household, are peaceable with us, and therefore let them dwell in the land and trade there, and let's trade with them. Let's let them stay here. And because it's large enough, it'll support everybody. And let us take their daughters to us for women and give them our daughters, so we become one people. Only herein will the men consent unto us to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Okay? So that was really the focus there. Shechem loved her. Hamor wanted their stuff, and the people wanted their stuff. Okay, so only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. All right? So, and then they said, yeah, okay. And then every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of the city. And then it came to pass on the third day, when everybody was laid up in sores, what it says, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, Dinah's brother, come in, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males, and killed all the males, murdered all the males. That's what happened. Okay? They lied to him, said, yeah, we'll be one people if you do this, and then when they were laid up and sore, they go in and kill them. And then they killed Hamor and Shechem. Killed those two that came to their house peaceably. Okay, and they didn't cut a Bere'shiyth with, but they had an agreement. So yeah, okay, we'll do that. You guys do that, then our end of the bargain is we'll become one people. And they did their end. And then Yaakov's household went in and killed them all. All right, then they took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. Then they spoiled the city because they defiled their sister, took their sheep, their oxen, their asses, and that which was in the city and that which was in the fields. So they took all their stuff and all their wealth and all their little ones and their women they took captive and spoiled even all that was in the house. That's a big deal. And then Yaakov says to Shimon and Levi, you have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanim and the Perizim, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, all I and my house. Okay, so his reaction is, well, you have brought destruction upon us because of your actions here. And you murdered, not so much here. I mean, I'm sure that there was more. Because when we read this, we got to remember that this is an account about real people, okay? These things occurred. How they occurred and to what extent, we have just the information that's in front of us, okay? Here we have two of the sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, killing everybody in the city, all right? We don't know how big the city is. We don't know how many men were in that city. We don't know the disposition of the city. We don't know the disposition of Shimon and Levi. So we don't know if they had people with them. So like if they had servants that were with them. We don't know. We don't have the details of this. But we have the fact that it occurred. And that's all that we today really need. And so he is upset. He says, now they're going to gather against us and destroy us. Okay, and they reply, should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? Okay, so they put their actions on the actions of Shechem. Okay, when it all really began, when Dinah went out. Okay, that's really all that happened. That's how it all began. Dinah went out into the city to be around the other people of the land who walked contrary to the way of Yah. And then she became, is what it seems like, she became as those in the land. Doesn't really give an account from Dinah's perspective, but it gives Shechem. Shechem loved her. Shechem wanted to marry her. And Shechem was willing to go through these physical actions of circumcision so that he could be with her. Okay, his soul clave to her. Now, is this right? What occurred in our instructions from YAHUAH? Is this a right thing? Is this a righteous thing that Shimon and Levi did? Well, no, absolutely not. They murdered all these people. Then they stole their stuff. Murdered and killed. Now, how did that happen? Okay, how did the Yasharel, the upright Avel, how did the sons who become the 12 tribes of Yasharel, Shimon and Levi being one of them, Levi is the Levites. How did that occur? How did those who would be the patriarchs of the 12 tribes, 12 groups of people of Yasharel, how do we have two right here going in and murdering and destroying a whole town and lying about it? So under the pretense of deception. How does that happen? Well, we're studying it. We're studying what the struggle was with their father Yaakov, okay, with man, where he wrestled with that man, wrestled in the dark, okay. Hamor wanted the stuff, okay, wanted the goods and the people and the security. That adds to his fortification when his standing within the area. Trade partner, army, defense, okay, things like that. Shechem wanted the person, okay? He wanted Dinah. He wanted her. So in the eyes of the world, this is a good agreement. It's good unification to become one people because there's benefit. The benefit there in the way of the world is both parties. Okay, so Shechem, he brings, by the marriage there between Dinah and him, would bring together the two houses in a sense. And the things of goods, so riches and goods, okay, that would be brought into this group of people. But that is the struggle, okay? That's the struggle there, is to stay away from that, because that brings us in to where we live our lives in contrary to the way of YAHUAH, and we're not preserved, okay? We will die because of this. So what would bring Shimon and Levi to do something like this? Okay, it's because they have not prevailed in their struggle with man. Okay, they are behaving exactly as man. There's no difference here between the two people. Deceit. In fact, the people of Shechem, they seem to be very honorable. Okay, they came to Yaakov. Okay, what happened here was Shechem saw Dinah, took her and lay with her and defiled her, because it did defile her, because they were not together, meaning they were not pledged to each other, and then the two become one. So like here, for it to be defiled, she would have somebody that would be in the same direction in life. Okay, so she walk in the ways of Yah. And then if they clave together, the two became one, then that's unity, then that's completeness. Because the completeness comes from the way of Yah, so our single eye on the way of YAHUAH. But because he lay with her, someone who walks contrary to the way, the defilement is there, because it's a continuation of the splintering, because she is the upright of El. He is not, okay? He is the one who does not walk in the way, walks contrary to Yah. So even though the two became one, there's now a division. And the division is with Dinah. Okay, so her eye is no longer single to the way of YAHUAH, to where she is she is light, so the light is inside her. She is now incomplete because of this. But Shechem doesn't follow that at all. Doesn't recognize that as the proper way to be. So to Shechem, this is a good thing. You know, this is actually what I would assume, just based off of our standards of living today, normal. How much premarital sex do we see? And who has taken part in those things? Okay? We have to look at ourselves here. It's really easy for us to look around and say, wow, it's just terrible, this world, when we take part in it and have taken part in it. And praise YAHUAH that we're coming out of that, but we also have to recognize that this is us. We were Shechem. For those of us who are seeking righteousness, we were Shechem. We're not anymore, okay, or we pray to Yah for him to continue to open our eyes, so if we see that we are Shechem, that we stop doing that. But this was us. This wouldn't have been a big deal, you know, and wouldn't be a big deal today, you know, unless Dinah got pregnant, you know, today, and then, well, you're going to get married or what? And then even that's not really even, you know, expected anymore today. And again, I'm not speaking poorly about it. I'm just making the comment here in relation to this. Because for Shechem, this wasn't a big deal. I love her. I want to marry her. Okay, well, yeah, this happened, but let's get married then. Okay, I want you to be my woman. So the defilement came with Dinah, but for Shechem, this is just something that happens. Okay, now deceit. Okay, the deceitfulness is where the murder began. Okay, the lying. So they answered deceitfully, and they set him up basically, to where they would all be laid up and they can just come in and kill everybody. Because that's what happened. That's really, when you read this account, this is what occurred. So the murder came from deceit. Murder from deceit. The lies coming out of their mouth. All right. So these sons of Yaakov, who are behaving just as man. Okay, because that's what men do. The words coming out of our mouths are lies, which is death. Okay? We speak the words, man. We speak the words of our father, which is the devil, who was a liar from the beginning, and there's no truth in him. And the truth is the word of Yah. These are the words of Yahushua, okay, our Messiah. We have to pay attention here. This is what was occurring, okay? The lies coming out of their mouth were the words of Hasatan, the devil, the adversary, the accuser, okay? Their father at this time, all right, at this moment. Our father at one time, okay? And we pray to YAHUAH to open our eyes so that we do not speak words of deceit to others, okay, or act deceitfully. Because lies conceal violence, all right? That's what we're told, and we're going to read here through through Solomon, is lies conceal violence. Our words of wickedness conceal violence, and that's exactly what happened here. They acted deceitfully, and then that led to murder. Okay, murder and great destruction. Okay, the words of humans, of man, lead to death and destruction. Okay, so we're going to stay on that. We're going to step away from the concept of sexual immorality. Okay, because that's something that, you know, we could pull that out a little bit further with, you know, spiritually, with how we behave, and then physically here too, also with the world around us, and also how we could look at how we raise our children, okay? Because this is also something for us as parents, raising children in the nations, okay, in the area of unbelievers, just as Yaakov would have been, the things that we will speak about at home, but then we send them to school, for example. And then they learn everything that is contrary to the way of YAHUAH. And then they learn that this sort of thing here, sex before marriage, sex as kids, okay? Dinah, there's an account that she is 14 years old here, okay? Sex as kids. You know, we think about when we were kids in school, we had sexual education, all right? And then safe sex practices, all right? If kids are going to do it, all right? And that's, you know, we're not speaking down to that, because again, I'm a product of that. You know, this was me. This was you, up until coming to the knowledge of the truth. But now we're thinking about, well, how are we educating our children? Are we speaking the way of Yah, the words of YAHUAH at home, but then sending them out to hear the words of the devil, the words of Hasatan, which are the words contrary to the words of Yah? So we're sending our children out to become double-minded, which is death. Okay, that's just something for us to consider. So let's go though back to the words of deceit concealing violence, or the words of wickedness that speak contrary to YAHUAH, concealing violence. All right, or murdering. Let's go to the fullness of the way of YAHUAH, which is Yahushua HaMashiach, Yahushua our Messiah. And we're going to go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. We'll start there at 17, okay? This is Yahushua speaking, okay, Yahushua teaching us. This is our teacher. We have one teacher, one shepherd, one fold, okay? So if we want to learn anything, we have one teacher, is Yahushua HaMashiach. So this is him teaching us here. In chapter 5, verse 17, he says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the Torah or the prophets." So this is the first thing he says, think not that I come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Okay, and the word fulfill there, just so we have an understanding here, because we look at fulfill and be like, oh, I fulfilled it, we're done. Okay? That's not the word, and that's not what he says either. He says, think not that I've come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. He doesn't say that I've come to end it. He says, I come not to end it. Okay? Did not come to end it, but I came to fulfill it. The word there in the Greek is plerou, and plerou means to fill up, or to be the fullness of, to be complete in. Okay, so the completeness, the fullness of the way of Yah. So he's not coming to destroy it, but to live it fully as our example. Okay? And then verse 18 says, For amen, I say unto you, till heavens and earth pass, one yod or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the Torah till all be fulfilled. So he says, till heaven and earth pass. Okay, till heaven and earth pass. So it has not passed yet. Okay, praise Yah, because it gives us this opportunity to know this and then to change our lives, to repent because the kingdom of heaven is near, and to learn directly from our teacher, our shepherd. Praise YAHUAH for that. But the heavens and earth have not passed. Okay, so nothing changes. That's what he says here. Not one yod or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the Torah till all things be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of YAHUAH. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of YAHUAH. Okay? And we know this already. Now, for us to have that concept too, we know this, but we have the concept of this, this is very literal. Okay? So, when we read and learn something along the way, once we know it, then we're expected to act on it, like Abraham. Abraham was quick to act. And that is our example of us living in the nations. We have this other example that we're learning with Yaakov. Okay? Very challenging times. Raising kids especially. And we're all living in the same environment today. Okay, the scenery might change, but the conditions are the same. Okay, so once we learn something and know something, we're expected to act on it. Okay, and verse 20 says, For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Parashim, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of YAHUAH. So he says, your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of YAHUAH. So we know that the scribes and the Parashim are not following the way of YAHUAH. Okay, if we believe that Yahushua HaMashiach is the Mashiach, Yahushua is the Mashiach, then we hearken to his words. And he says, if your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of YAHUAH. Okay, so they weren't following the way of YAHUAH. They weren't following the Torah. Okay, and that's righteousness. Okay, and what Paul the worker writes in Romans is that besides the Torah, or an exception to the Torah, righteousness comes through faith in Yahushua HaMashiach. So you got righteousness in the way of Yah, you got righteousness in the way in belief in Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, because that's our door into the kingdom of YAHUAH. So this group right here, the scribes and Parashim, were not following the way. So he makes it a point to state that. Because he was saying, we have to really kind of pay attention here too, because we have conversations with the unbeliever, and most of the time it's those who have a mouth that is divisive. Okay, all they want to do is their spirit, all the spirit wants to do is justify their rebellion and rejection to his way. And they will point out certain words given by the scribes and the Parashim saying that, well, Jesus broke the Sabbath. Okay, as a justification for no longer guarding the Sabbath, remembering and guarding the Sabbath. Jesus broke the Sabbath. Well, Yahushua says here that, except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of YAHUAH. So the words that come out of the scribes and the Parashim are null and void, because they're not following the way of YAHUAH. So to say that, to follow the words of the scribe and Parashim and say, well, we don't have to guard or remember the Sabbath anymore because Jesus broke the Sabbath by healing on the Sabbath, is the words of their father, the devil. Okay, according to the words of ours, YAHUAH, through Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, now again, not to speak down or poorly about people, but we have to be prepared. We ourselves. Because we are always in that potential of looking away and being led away by divisiveness. All right, divisiveness. And what we're seeing here is a mixing of the upright with those that walk contrary. And all that occurs is death and destruction. Okay? I mean, that's really what happened. We have Yasharel. Yasharel should have been separate from the people of Shechem around there, but they weren't. And what happened was death and destruction. We are called to be separate here too, because we can't help it. We, as human beings, we will try to clave or cleave to those who are trying to cleave to us, that will look to us as leaders potentially, or somebody that's, doesn't get too excited, can deal with people, because that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on relationships and to love others as, Yah loves us, and to be patient and forgiving and kind. So they'll try to clave to that, because they see that as a good thing, because it is. It's a good thing. But they are the ones that also can be part of an overall walking away from overall action or disposition for us to walk away from YAHUAH. So we separate ourselves from that because it's too dangerous. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. The danger in that is that we will succumb to the lusts of the flesh, the things around us, without realizing that it's happening. Okay, because we like people. I like people. We're called to be out amongst the people. That's why YAHUAH prays for protection from the evil one as we're out in this world. He doesn't call us to be out of the world, but we have to be separate from the world. We're still in it, but we're separate. Okay, so we don't hang out with those, follow those that walk contrary to the way of Yah. Because that leads to death and destruction, and that'll lead to our death and destruction. We have to maintain singularity with the way of Yah. Okay, our eye needs to be single, not looking around for other things. Okay, so the righteousness of the scribes and the Parashim, our righteousness exceeds that. That means don't follow the words. Okay, so the words that they're speaking to and about the Messiah is the words of their father, the devil, where there's no truth in them, no word of Yah in them. Okay, and then he goes on and says, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not kill. But whoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of the fire of Gehenna. Okay, and Gehenna is Gehenna. It's a valley of Hinnom, figuratively the place of everlasting punishment. Okay. But these are the words of YAHUAH, YAHUAH through YAHUAH. And he said, therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remember that your brother has aught against you, leave your gift before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Agree with your adversary quickly, while you are in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and you be cast into prison. Amen, I say unto you, you shall by no means come out thence till you have paid the uttermost farthing. Okay, till you have paid for that. All right, but what we're talking about here is killing. All right, we see this action with the men, Shimon and Levi, killing all the men of Shechem, and seemingly to get away with it. But did they get away with it? Did they get away with murder? Okay, that's something that we would be asking. That's what I asked myself. Did they get away with it? Well, the answer is no. They didn't get away with it. They may have happened to them that they were spared physically, but they have to answer for these things. Okay, at some shape or form, just like we have to answer for these things. So we have to be very careful here, because today, do we get away with murder? Right now, do we get away with murder? The answer is no. Okay, what Yahushua says, you've heard that it was said by them of old, you shall not kill, and whoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. But I say to you that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of the fire of Gehenna. So, murder begins with words. And can we murder with our words? Yes, we can. That's what our example, the fullness of the way of Yah, tells us. So, we have to be very careful what starts here in our spirit for what we think about other people, because then it reflects with our words. Okay, and those words that come out are the words of men, which are destruction and death. Okay? But we're told here that we're held accountable for that. Okay, we're held accountable for that. And he says, truly I say unto you, you shall by no means come out thence till you have paid the uttermost farthing. So we have to be very careful here, because death begins inside with our spirit, and then it's made manifest by our words. The boys, they acted deceitfully. Okay? Yaakov's sons, they lied, and then they set up murder, okay? Death and destruction. And they killed everybody in that town. All right? We do the same thing with our words spiritually. We have to be very, very careful. Okay, so let's go to Proverbs chapter 10, and then we will finish up with our portion of the Parashah. We'll just read chapter 10, so it's Proverbs chapter 10. It says, the Proverbs of Shalomah, a wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivers from death. YAHUAH will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casts away the substance of the wicked. He becomes poorer that deals with the slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. He that gathers in the summer is a wise son, but he that sleeps in harvest is a son that causes shame. Okay, so we have a tendency as men, too, to look at this as physical. When we need to work, don't want to be slackers. Okay, you got to work real hard. But when we become sons of Elohim, then who are we working for? We're working for Elohim. So our treasures are no longer here. Our treasures, what Yahushua lays out for us, are in heaven, right? So we're working for the kingdom of Yah. So he that gathers in the summer is a wise son, but he that sleeps in harvest is the son that causes shame. All right, and we get that with many of the parables from Yahushua, okay, for the workers in the kingdom, which is us today. Blessings are upon the head of the just, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. He that walks uprightly walks surely, but he that perverts his way shall be known. He that winks with the eye causes sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. So it's 2 times that's stated. Righteous man is a well of life. So Yahushua in John chapter 4 speaks about becoming walls of living water, right? And we have ruach hakodesh. But violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Blessings are upon the head of the just, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Okay, verse 12, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. In the lips of him that has understanding, wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor of the righteous tends to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin. Okay. I mean, we see that with Hamor. That was his, and the men of the city. That was their whole goal there, with assimilating Yaakov and his household with them. So wealth and their labors, but the fruit of their labors is wickedness. Okay, and the fruit of those is the wicked to sin, or that rejection, the breaking of relationship. Verse 17, he is in the way of life that guards instruction, but he that refuses reproof errs. Okay, so he is in the way of life that guards instructions, because the way of Yah is life. But he that refuses reproof errs. He that hides hatred with lying lips, and he that utters a slander is a fool. In the multitude of words there lacks not sin, but he that refrains his lips is wise. The tongue of the just is as choice silver, the heart of the wicked is little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The blessing of YAHUAH, it makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. It is as sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding has wisdom. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. As the whirlwind passes, so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation. As vinegar to the teeth, and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that sends him. The fear of YAHUAH prolongs days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. The way of YAHUAH is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the just brings forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable. The mouth of the wicked speaks frowardness. Okay, frowardness is something that's contrary. Okay, so we see here the righteous and those who act with righteousness, or the right, which is the way of YAHUAH, and those who act with wickedness, which is the way of man. Okay, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. So the words of men that are in contrary to the words of YAHUAH. Okay, so were the children of Yasharel behaving as the children of Yasharel? The answer is no, they were not. Okay, where the struggle was in the first two chapters that we study with Yaakov, with man, with Esau, Edom, or Dam, we see the fallout of that, or the what occurs to us today, where we were, how we were, and what is a very strong potential for our children. Okay, and it's something that we who know the way and are learning the way and are living the way, we have to be very, very aware of, and very cautious of where are we sending our children and allowing our children to go, and what is influencing our children. Okay, so what do we allow in our homes too that influence our children? Okay, so I hope that this portion of the Parashah has given you something to think about, like it has me. Very, very much so. And I hope that you, like I will be thinking more about this today with ourselves, and how we can look about us and see, are we speaking deceitfully? Are we behaving deceitfully in the way of Yah? Okay? And what can we do to change that? So have a wonderful day today, and we'll be back here tomorrow with another daily brief with Parashah Vayishlach. Thank you.